Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's video, we will be talking about the weather. Obviously, as you can tell by the video, it's a rather serious title, and it's because there's a serious weather pattern that is taking place, especially across the western United States, though that is contributing to another area of concern across the central United States. So really just a weather pattern that could be leading to some devastating results. It sounds aggressive, just bear with me here. I'll explain everything in today's video. Before we get in, if you guys are new, hello, welcome. Check out the channel, watch the video before you consider subscribing or liking. Obviously, you don't want to just do that blindly. And if you're a returning viewer, you like this content, like the video, leave a comment. I answer almost 100% of all comments left down below. Not only do I read them, I answer them. All right, let's get into this. So notice, let's start off by looking at the National Weather Service map. Okay, so what do we have? Let's just refresh this. I pulled this up a few minutes ago in case something did change. Nothing did. All right, notice we have green flash flood watches. That is the concern across the central United States. The heat is keeping this moisture belt from the southern United States, really the Gulf of Mexico, just pummeling into the Missouri, Illinois, Michigan, Kansas, Texas, Oklahoma. I mean, this whole corridor. And yes, there was expected to be heavy rain, but some areas across Missouri got up to 11 inches of rain. Truly just a remarkable amount of rain. And yeah, as a result, you could see this is where thunderstorms yesterday were training for hours on end. And again, it's only the worst areas that are kind of getting impacted by the potentially devastating impacts. As you can see, they if you were to take a look at the flood warning, you would see that a lot of the rivers are very high, near flood stages, near moderate to high flood stages, or major, whatever they go by. But notice this area of rain is pretty large. Well, the area of rain is very large. The area of flood concerns is rather large. Severe thunderstorms are occurring. But what I want to focus on a bit more today is this right here. Notice all of Oregon, all of Washington, most of Idaho, pushing into Montana, into Nevada and California. We have ridiculous heat. And I do want to emphasize ridiculous. This is, heat that breaks records. This isn't just heat wave, a regular heat wave in the summer. Usually heat wave for Seattle is around 90s, maybe mid 90s when it's very hot. There could be some locations reaching well into the triple digits. Okay, so notice Seattle 101, 104. I don't know what the record for Seattle is. I think it's around that though. So yeah, definitely a very hot pattern, very dry drought. That's the big concern. This heat will not only lead to danger where a lot of people don't have air conditioning. I mean, could you imagine 101 degrees and you don't have AC? That's dangerous. That's not even unpleasant. That's just dangerous. And obviously the drought. I mean, the Northwest isn't used to such anomalies, and I want to show you the anomalies in just a second. They are stunning, truly stunning, obviously in a bad way. Let's just take a look at a random location, Walla Walla, right there. I think that's southwestern. Oh, that's Oregon, northwestern Oregon. All right, so notice 104, 109, 112. I mean, truly horrendous temperatures. 108, 105 continues for a while. Now, this is something you'd expect across the Southwest. And look across the Southwest. We also have heat watches. Let's see, Death Valley, for example. I'm known for its heat. Yeah, you know it's bad when there's a heat watch for Death Valley, one of the hottest locations on planet Earth. Notice 121. 123. That's hot. That's dangerous. If you're stuck in that for several hours, probably heat stroke, heat exhaustion. That's not an exaggeration. Yeah. So don't become a statistic of a heat death, right? You just want to avoid this dangerously hot conditions. I mean, from 100 to 125 possible. I don't know what the record is. I think it's 135. Ish, so that's not a record, but yeah, okay, that's not an excuse, right? You don't want to be stuck in, especially in Death Valley during record-breaking temperatures. That's literally suicidal. Let's take a look at the GFS model. I want to show you these anomalies because I don't think that does justice, this coloring and those readings, as much as what I want to show you here. So I've been on this using Tropical Tidbits since 2016, actually late 2015. I've been, using this for 6 years now. And when I say I've never seen such anomalies across the Northwest, I truly mean it. Notice, this is 28 Celsius above normal, right? 28 degrees. That's the highest color. That's it right there. It just doesn't get farther. It can't get hotter according to this key. I mean, so rarely do we see anomalies on either spectrum that's so significant. And look how big it is. It's not just one tiny area. all of Washington, all of Oregon, all of Idaho, most of Idaho, northern panhandle of Idaho, all of British Columbia. And yeah, that's the other thing. We're kind of on the southern extent of it here in the U.S. Western Canada gets just brutally hammered by this. Look at this. So as we push this into now, into Monday, right? So again, Sunday, very hot. We're pushing into the last week of June. Look at this. Tuesday. I mean, truly stunning anomalies. Now look at that. That is very cool. That is because of the cloud cover, the rain. Again, it will be continuing day after day across the Midwest and lower plains, which again will lead to flooding. That's also a concern. So again, where there's an up, there's a down. You can see it's very warm. It is very cool. Now, obviously, it's not as cool as it is warm up here, and this is more pleasant. I mean, look at that. That is potentially 20 degrees below Celsius average across Arizona. If you're seeing hundreds, you could be definitely seeing 70s, which in my eyes is pretty pleasant. Unfortunately, this one, it's dangerous. Not even just not pleasant. And notice that it sticks on for a while. While, yes, it does go down in intensity, this is still ridiculous coloring. Usually, a color like this, see that darker red right there? That's considered a dangerous heat wave across, or, a strong anomaly. That is just truly something historic. It will be talked about in the records. It definitely will leave its fingerprint or its footprint into the record books across the West. But it could be talked about depending on what impacts it have and how people prepare. So hopefully no one gets hurt from this. But that's almost silly saying that. I mean, look how dangerous that is over such a large area across such an unprepared region for such heat, right? And notice that. Look at those anomalies. I mean, we are now at 200 hours out. 200. This is already July 5th. That's 10 days out, and those anomalies still continue. Chilly across the south, the east. So yes, the rain does finally push away. But as it does so, the heat also spills down into the rest of the United States. Now, it's not nearly as hot as what the anomalies are across the West, but it does start spreading more. And you can see that the areas of cool weather are a bit further towards the north and east. Still, though, very, very warm across the northwest. Another reason why this is dangerous, not only because the heat is dangerous, and that could lead to a lot of problems with people suffering with no AC and stuff like that. Drought, obviously, vegetation, crops. There will be significant crop losses, if not devastating crop losses across the Northwest, especially since a lot of reservoirs are already running low. It's not like if they're not in a drought, they're in a drought going into a potentially historic drought. Thirdly, it's the Northwest. Extremely wooded. A lot of those locations have, in fact, I think some of the thickest forests in the United States. When it's such heat, such drought, wildfires. That's going to be a huge, huge, huge problem into the late fall. Really, I would say starting, summer into the late fall. It leaves it left like a matchbox. I mean, truly, it's going to be a matchbox across the Northwest. Last year, many people still remember the wildfire seasons, the orange skies. Yeah, I'm sorry, with such anomalies, there's just no escape. It doesn't take a brilliant predictor to predict that there will be wildfires with such heat. And that will affect even folks, across the rest of the country. Hazy, smoky skies, crop losses, obviously timber's already super priced, right? There could be losses with that. So, I'm obviously going to the worst scenarios here, but with the timber and stuff, but wildfires definitely will be a concern. And notice that even at 384 hours out, still warm. Obviously, no anomalies that are as striking as the ones that will be this weekend, but one could argue that it's just because of the lesser confidence in models have. This wasn't showing in the models around a week ago. There was obviously showing, heat, but not to this extent. Now, let's take a glance at some of these 2-meter temperature shaded, so the actual thermometer reading. Again, a lot of these locations don't see much more than that's average right there. That's actually still a bit warmer. So 40s, 30s, it's Canada, but notice, and in Northwest, it's usually associated with being chilly and cool because that's usually what it is. Into Sunday, it could be one of the warmest spots, Washington, across the whole United States. I mean, notice the South, 90s, 80s, typical. Southwest, very warm, but look, it's competing with the Northwest. And 80s all the way up near Yukon. That is extremely, extremely warm, and that is not something you want to see. Truly, just to put this into perspective, if you were living in Georgia and your average across the summer is around 90 degrees, some of these locations will be seeing temperatures 40 degrees above average. That means Atlanta would be seeing 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Add that, not that scary number, plus the fact a lot of those folks don't have air conditioning. Truly. I mean, Chicago, for example, my location, 85 is average for the peak of summer. That would mean, again, around 125, 130. It's just unthinkable anomalies, truly. I know sometimes people, we know weather people have a tendency to over-exaggerate, but in this case, the over-exaggeration is 100% true. It holds true. Look at that, 98, 96, 86, 97. Very, very warm, and that continues. I mean, oh, goodness. Look at that. Next Wednesday evening, let's just zoom in on the Northwest to show you this. Look at that, 119 into portions of Oregon bordering into Washington. Truly just stunning temperatures. Something I haven't seen in my life. Obviously, that's not that long, but I'm assuming a lot of folks haven't seen it either, especially since a record for, I think, the state of Washington is 107, I think. So, yeah, 119 beats it by quite a bit. Regardless, record or not record, it's dangerous. And even if there was a hotter temperature, probably wasn't in the last 10 to 20 years. And it happens very rarely. Notice right there, look at that heat. I mean, it spreads into Montana, just 90s, right? The Southwest, a bit better. They will be having a bit of that rain, but unfortunately, the Northwest will just be getting the brunt of it. And now notice, as we push this forward into, now this is July 2nd, July 3rd, July 4th. I mean, I doubt that the fireworks shows won't be banned with such heat and such drought. I think they will be. Obviously, folks will be still doing them, but the professional ones, like cities and municipalities, will probably be banned for this reason. Look at that, 109 again coming back. Yeah, just really kind of heartbreaking, to be honest. And as we push this very, very far ahead, 384 hours, this is still, again, above average. Maybe not, 119, about 100. So, wow, wow, such a big difference. Yeah, regardless, still a giant heat wave. Again, these are the anomalies, extremely, extremely high. Let's take a look at and other models. You may be thinking, oh, this is just one model. No, not really. Canadian model, take a look at it. Notice the anomalies. Let's just, again, here's a date. The message is it'll be hot. Just, it doesn't really matter too much about the date. This isn't a thunderstorm event that only is happening in one day, specific timeline. Yeah, this is a multi-week heat wave. Notice, yeah, truly stunning. Those colors. That's a max right there. That's maxed out coloring right there. So not pleasant to say the least. And yeah, the Canadian actually arguably keeps it warmer than a GFS with these anomalies, as it keeps it for a much longer period of time. Again, this is right there. This is around 30 degrees above average. 80s in Seattle is warm. 90s very warm. Forget about hundreds. So, I don't know if exactly there will be 100 in Seattle. As you can see, the worst will be just to the west, but look at that right there. Sunday, very warm. Monday, getting very close. I think there could be right there a day into the hundreds. Let's take a glance now at the European. Or actually, let's just take a quick look at what the Climate Prediction Center shows. 6 to 10 day outlook. Let's go right here. This is from July 1st through the 5th. Notice, cool across the south, very warm here. Again, conflicting, or you can see contrasting sides where it's warm, here it's cool. And yeah, there's usually where it goes up, it goes down, and that's a jet stream kind of ridging. So they'll kind of keep each other in check, which is why they're going to be stuck, the rain and the heat. And again, this is 8 to 14 days, which is even further out, stretching to the 9th, which is more than 10, 15 days out. And you can still see heat, cool, maybe across the south, which is the saving grace kind of for the U.S. Imagine if everyone was stuck under that heat. That would be horrendous. So yeah, that's why the National Weather Service issued those excessive heat watches and warnings. Ensemble members, if you're to take a look at the GEFS, let's take a look at the whole entire United States. Take a look at this. Look at that. So obviously cool here, but very, very warm. This is, again, 50 models combined. This isn't just one model. So again, the fact that they're showing such extremes obviously means that a lot of the models, ensembles, are pretty much in all agreement that there will be heat there. And as he pushes further and further away, the colors decrease, I guess. That's still a truly stunning anomaly, but, lesser confidence. Look at the rest of the United States, though. Cooler to say the least. That's pleasant. There will be, instead of 80s, maybe 70s. In some locations, even 60s, where it's very, very cool. But notice, and I mean 60s across the south potentially, yeah, not just the north, which is why it's so stunning. Because 60s across Minnesota, northern Minnesota in the summer isn't something that's unusual, especially during the evening hours or nighttime. So notice that this is now into the very long range. Ensembles obviously start splitting up, but you can see the heat goes to the south, so potentially the rest of the United States getting in on this. Still warm, however, so really no escape from this. And I want to show you the precipitation anomalies. let's see where the wet will be. Okay, so obviously this is a concern, flooding, and it does stay for a while. Pretty much as that heat stays there, so will that cool or moist condition. It does sag very slightly to the south over time. Again, 216 hours out. That is very, very far out. And wet conditions continue. But look, the northwest is dry, which why things get so much worse as there will be heat and record low precipitation. The southwest may be getting a bit better, especially across Arizona and New Mexico. Some rain, and it won't be stuck in that horrendous heat. Still above average though. And here, obviously, there's another concern to it, that just the extreme heavy rains that have been falling, and that will continue. I mean, take a look at the high-res model HV3. Some of these locations right there saw 11 inches across Missouri. Yeah, 11 inches last night. And look how much in the next 60 hours. More rain, and it's just continued into this this funnel of rain. Let me show you, demonstrate what I mean by a funnel of rain. So let's take a look at the latest run, and look, the storm motion will be kind of flowing to the north and northeast, just kind of you'll see right there. It's like a moisture river. Notice, look at the storms, one after the other, right, erupting, and then look what happens here. It turns more northerly, and look, I mean, literally just a stream of moisture for several days, and this continues. And this doesn't look significant, but little showers, little clusters like these, I've been under the a couple of them because I'm in Chicago, so we're in this pattern. They are some of the most torrential rainmakers I've seen in a while. Maybe not in my whole life, but in a while. Yeah, it's truly a saturated environment, and the contrast, again, the extremes just never are a good thing, either the heat or really the flooding. I do want to now show you the European model. This is a very, very, very good model, and it would be a shame if I did not show you it. First of all, since we're already on it, let's take a look at the precipitation forecast. Notice lots of rain across the Midwest. This continues into Saturday, into Sunday, into Monday, and again, a lot of this is very hard to predict where the heavy rain will set up. Even what will happen in the next few days. Could it be dry or wet? A lot of this is chain reaction forecast. The previous thunderstorm event impacts the next one. And notice that the moisture does kind of subside, but it's still lingering as it's there. It's just lacking forcing to kind of consolidate into the large clusters that we're going to be seeing in the next few days, and we have been seeing. But notice the precip is still most definitely there, flowing in that same direction. Pop-up thunderstorm is becoming likely towards the end. The European is a really strong favorite of that, and yeah, notice towards the end it may be drying out, but definitely wet pattern. Flooding is a concern, and look, some of those amounts like that 6, 7, 8 inches across the areas that have already seen, again, 11. But look at that, the Northwest, bone dry. At least that's good news. Look at that, New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado seeing some rain, not a lot. Right there, that's a bit concerning. Very dry, again, but at least they're not seeing 100 degrees plus in terms of temperatures. So if you think it's dry across the Mid-Atlantic, feel for the folks across the Northwest, where usually it's way wetter and much cooler. If you're to look at the anomalies according to the European model, it's all in agreement with the other models. Look at this. We start seeing those gray, nasty colors. Again, as I mentioned, up to 45 degrees above average. This is an anomaly. That's not the reading of the thermometer. So if your average is 45, you're now seeing 90. If your average is 90, add 90 to 45, 135. I mean, truly a stunning temperature reading. And look, that continues. You could see through British Columbia, into Alberta, into Saskatchewan. And as we push this forward, it continues. The intensity, I guess, regulates itself downwards. Still a very, very strong cool or warm up and or heat wave, I should say, dangerous heat wave. I was thinking about this right here. Notice, look at those temperatures. Some of them pretty cool. So yeah, portions of the deep southwest will definitely be cooler than the northwest at certain points. That's without a doubt. But unfortunately, this spreads to the south and west over time. So will that, what we're seeing right here, will that set up maybe at some time across the central United States later on during the summer? It's definitely possible. At this time, no indications of that, but definitely a possibility. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, consider liking, subscribing. Stay safe, stay cool, and I'll catch you all guys in the next episode.